Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back to my video. In this video, in our 12th meeting, I will continue the material for uh, Intro to Tesol methodology ya, entitled Transformative Learning Theory. But first thing first, as usual, I will make an introduction, a brief introduction first, yeah. For our vision in Lautan Samashiro University. Menjadi universitas yang unggul, berdaya saing global, berjiwa entrepreneurship, berlandaskan akhlakul kalimah. And then our Faculty of Teacher Training and Education vision is menjadi fakultas keguruan dan ilmu pendidikan yang unggul pada penyiapan bahan ajar berbasis digital dan edupreneur yang dapat berdaya saing global dijiwai akhlakul karimah. And then the last one, our English Education Study Program vision is menjadi program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris yang unggul pada penyiapan bahan ajar berbasis digital dengan pendekatan kearifan lokal serta edupreneur yang memiliki daya saing global dijiwai akhlakul karimah. Okay, everyone. And I have one Quran Surah Az-Zumar. Verse 9, say are those who know equal to those who do not know. Indeed, only those endowed with understanding will take heed. In this verse, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala emphasized the significant difference between those who possess knowledge and those who do not. People of knowledge have the ability to gain deeper understanding of life, religion, and the world, and the derive wisdom from every event. Through knowledge, one becomes wiser and more capable of guiding oneself and others toward the path of truth. Okay, that's our opening, and then I will continue the material, yeah. Let me share to you the material for transformative learning theory. Okay, here you go. Okay. In a transformative learning theory, yeah, here use a MC Conical 2005. He present three things here. The first is students can change their perspective or their way of thinking while learning. So it means that the transformative learning and there is also a changing, yeah, changing of student thinking. That's make the student's perspective can be opened, yeah, before they don't know anything and then they get the knowledge they learned. And then the goal of is for students to understand and become aware of how they are thinking and how this way of thinking shapes their view of the words. Of course, this transformation helps students to understand deeper about what they are learning and they will engage to the real world situation, yeah. Okay. And then by evaluating the ways that we think, we can change our expectation of the world and have a broader world view. We can have our ideology, we can have uh, our own goals, but you have to remember that the way we think uh, sometimes we can make a change when the way we think is something like um, bertabrakan ya, or crash with the reality ya. Our expectation, we can expect something while we are thinking, yeah, but the reality is the real one. So the way we think will be changed during the process of learning, and also during the something happen in our life, yeah, as a reality, not not only an expectation. And then MC Gonigal also divided the transformative learning process, yeah, into 5 steps, yeah. The first is activate, identify, reflect, engage, and apply. Then we will discuss one by one, yeah. Start from activate. In activate, to make the transformative learning process is effective, we can activate the students by students experience an event that expose their limitation of a subject. Yeah, by students experience. And then in identify, student identify their initial thoughts on the subject. In reflect, students think about why they might have had these thoughts on the subject. Where did they come from? How did they help or limit understanding? And then in engage, student and instructor or teacher think about other ideas and approaches to the subject. And then the last one, apply student test and apply new perspective. Okay, the fact is, when the transformative process occurs, students are more likely to adjust their hidden assumption about their learning process and gain new perspective to help learn in a more effective way. Students may find it difficult to change what they believe in the right way to think, create, and solve problems. This may present challenges for teachers. In order for this process to be successful, instructor must create an environment that encourages and rewards open critical thinking. Many strategies can be used to help facilitate transformative learning in the classroom. Let's look at the next slide for the example. Yeah, I will give you the example. Okay, look at here. This is the transformative learning strategies. Yeah. Start from the activate. What we can do to activate the students, we can give a pre-test and survey to learn about students' background, what they know and what they don't know. And also, we can provide opposing viewpoints for students to challenge. Or we can also present a challenging situation to confuse learners, yeah, encourage them to think, yeah, to activate their higher order thinking. Create a situation where students will initially fail yet have to problem solve to succeed. And then for the identify, we can ask students to explain their reasoning. Or we can ask students to make a prediction about an experiment, event, or produce especially a confusion a scenario. Or give students a challenging question or problems and have them talk through the thought process. Or ask students to evaluate a position and explain their reason. And then for the reflect, have students keep a class journal of question, observation, and experience. So in this phase, we can ask the students to reflect on their process learning, yeah, learning strategies process. Instruct students also to respond to a specific class experience or reading with critical thinking prompt. Create a perspective history timeline where students identify life experiences that have influenced their current perspective. In Engage, we can have students think about their first assumption and your current assumption or your teacher's assumption. Allow time for discussion in the class and outside the class, online discussion, board, and many more. And then we can also assign group project or study group to critically analyze the material. And for the apply, return to challenging situation and have students analyze it with their new knowledge. Give students one problem and have them think about it from multiple viewpoints. Practice role plays and debates to practice new perspective. Think about new if think about different events and experiences with their new knowledge. This is what we can do, yeah. To activate, identify, reflect, engage, and apply during the transformative learning strategy. Okay, and then teaching learning strategies using the transformative method. Yeah, we will give the solution, yeah, not the problem. Look at here. In Activate, students take a pretest to understand their learning style. They realize that their style may be different than the strategy they use. Sometimes can be like this, yeah. And then in Identify, give students a list of learning strategies and have them work in group to think about their advantages and disadvantages. This can help and boost students during identifying something. Yeah. And then for the reflect, students keep a journal of successful way they studied information during the class. And in Engage, students can have a small group discussion about the result of their journal findings on their newly learned strategies at the end of the class. And then the last, in apply, or we can have a test here, yeah, using a newly learned strategy. Students are given new information and asked to use the new strategy to remember the information for the next class. Okay, and then for the teaching implication, sorry, okay. The teacher must carefully balance support and challenge since students may have a difficult time transforming their ways of learning. And trust between students and teacher is necessary. A challenging environment is essential for learning. It's essential for teachers to be a agent of change in order for students to see multiple perspectives and ways of learning. So, and for the conclusion, these strategies-based activities are designed to first raise awareness about strategies, train students in strategy use, give them opportunity to practice strategy use, and encourage them to personalize these strategies for themselves. Teachers also allow students to choose their own strategies and do so spontaneously without direct instruction. Okay, still everyone, here, the principle of for teaching learning style and strategies. Use different activities and materials, address a broad range of learning style and strategies. This is how we can set our teaching and learning style and strategies. Yeah. If you have a heterogeneous class with kinds of students' learning style, you can use a different activities and materials. Yeah. It will cope all the students' differences in their learning strategies. Yeah. Make all learning style neutral. Teach to accommodate a variety of learning style. This can require a teacher to teach in non-preferred teaching style. Reflect on your teaching, identify what strategies you can use that help develop critical thinking and more autonomy. And also, you can encourage students to expand their learning style. Take note of the learning style in your class and design instructional activities that require use of different learning style. And also, find ways to link both learning style and strategies. Consider two questions. What learning style would be most beneficial in completing a task? What learning strategies will my students need to complete this task carefully? And then one quotation. As a ELT professional, we need to deepen our understanding of the nature of human differences in learning so that we can maximize the potential of our flexible, open-ended curricula and individualized instruction in tandem with the learning potential of our learners. How can you adjust your everyday teaching methods to include learning strategies and strategy-based instruction in your class? You can also ask yourself, yeah, how you will adjust your teaching and learning strategy-based instruction. That is everyone for the material about transformative learning theory. Now, I will stop here. And as usual, also, I will give you the assignment. Let me give you the assignment, everyone. To summarize the material that I already explained to you, as usual, yeah. Here you go. You have to watch my recorded teaching video. After understanding the material, you have to do the assignment by summarizing all the materials that I already explained. You need to underline 3 important key points of the material and explain it by yourself by recording into a video. The duration, of course, it's around 3 minutes or more, and share your link video in Google Classroom assignment as the proof you did the assignment. That's all, everyone, that I can share to you now. And we will see again in the next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.